Okay, guys, today I want to take this opportunity and weigh in on this very public controversy involving two very well-known Nigerian celebrities, Regina Daniels, a very well-known Nollywood celebrity, and Ned Nwoko. He is in Nigeria. And so maybe last week or something, a video is seen circulating online where Regina Daniels is in sort of some crisis, saying that the violence is too much. She cannot stand it anymore in Ned Nwoko's house. The violence is too much. In her own house, she's a queen. In Ned Nwoko's house, she's a nobody. And no sooner than later, the senator, Ned Nwoko, comes out and publicly denies these allegations, stating that she is the problem and it's a problem of drug abuse. And that's why she's finding herself in this situation. She is having this kind of outbursts because of drug abuse. So Regina's brother comes out, defends her, and and of course the media picks out on it. You've seen all the media headlines that have come up. This Ned Nwoko and Regina Daniels saga is, I want to say, it's a cautionary tale to all of us who are really obsessed with the celebrity glamour, the Chanel bags, the private jets, the bubbles, that it just shows that beneath the facade, this celebrity facade of wealth, the same demons of control and addiction are at work. And I just want to weigh in on the power imbalance here. But sometimes when there is an imbalance in power, especially when it's about wealth, the money, and in this case, we are seeing imbalance even in age and even the political power. Sometimes these tools can be used as control. And I think what I want the ladies listening to me to think about, sometimes the man in your life can use obedience and confuse it with respect. So is the man in your life, for example, is he, I need you to ask these questions. Is he using this imbalance to control, to have access to your life, to control your access even to your friends, to your family? That is domestic abuse in itself. And he can use that imbalance to control your finances and even to control your reputation. In this case, we saw all of them releasing public statements. So what I want to tell women is that violence is a crime. Violence is not love. No amount of money, no amount of title, nothing like even public opinion. Don't think about the shame, the pressure, even the fear. Don't stay in a situation where you feel there is violence. Domestic violence is killing a lot of women. We are losing, and to be fair, even men are also experiencing domestic violence. Recently, there was a clip of a man who was being publicly abused in front of everyone, and nobody even came to the aid of this man. And he stood there and he was applauded for not doing anything, but I'll talk about that later. But domestic violence is domestic violence. Sasa usikinmwe. Domestic violence is never just about the physical abuse alone. There's all forms of domestic violence. It's a what I call very intricate control. And every time you hear a public outcry, one cry, there's thousands of women who are experiencing the same. Whether you're rich, you're poor, I think sometimes it's the same. So sometimes a lot of women remain silent and they're trapped. in these sort of situations. Let's now delve into Nwanko's response. When you're in a relationship or in a marriage situation where you're battling addiction. So I want to start by saying that addiction is actually a disease. It is not a character flaw. But so when you're dealing with a partner who is struggling with substance abuse, uh, it can really create a toxic relationship. It will destroy trust, it will destroy finances, it will destroy the emotional intimacy, and yes, it will lead to very erratic and destructive behavior. When this situation spills into the public arena, like it has in this particular case, it becomes a very high stakes deflection. So what I want to ask is the abuse claim, is it an honest cry for help, or is the addiction a claim for a very calculated move to discredit is the word, the victim? Yeah, it could be a very calculated move. And in reality, it can be a very vicious cycle where substance abuse keeps cropping up, and sometimes it's a mechanism for in terms of coping in a very unhappy marriage. So in this situation, we can see that this addiction is actually fueling the conflict, as Ned Nwoko is actually claiming. So you find that if addiction is present and you are enabling that behavior, then you also, are you actually helping? Are you helping your spouse get professional help? Yeah, because true love also demands boundaries, intervention, but also rehabilitation is very important. Public shaming is not part of the solution. I want to ask the public to stop treating some of these human tragedies like mere entertainment. This is not entertainment. Let us demand accountability where there is violence, and we demand compassion where there is addiction. Let's not confuse the two. It is not entertainment when celebrities are actually having this kind of breakdowns. And if you are in an abusive relationship, yeah, I think you should stop suffering in silence. Or if you know somebody who is in this kind of a situation, help them to get help. Yeah, you need to draw the line. If you are in that kind of a situation, and even if you're a celebrity, realize that your life is not a movie. It is not a movie. Yeah, your safety is not a negotiable contract. It is your real life. Yeah, so I want to say that I'm not the judge, I'm not the jury, but I think so that these are issues we really need to think about. Even as we follow celebrities, we need to think about these issues. As I'm recording this particular scenario, actually Regina Daniels returned to her marital home. And earlier I talked about power dynamics. So I want to weigh in on why would she get back into such a relationship? And I want to think they have a young child who is a powerful bond, and therefore she may want to get back with her husband to give her child an opportunity to grow up with the father. That is one thing. The other thing is, a young woman of Regina Daniels touch, a celebrity married to a billionaire. Where does she go to? You know, the security, the life, the shelter under which she's living. And talking of power dynamics still, you can see that she has returned into this relationship. And it seems so from where I sit. I could be wrong. Ned Nwoko has powerfully and very skillfully tilted the conversation to make it more of a drug abuse. So for the sake of her own career, her business, and her brand image, she has to return into the marriage to save all those things. And this is what I was talking about, power dynamics. Really be careful what you're getting yourself into, because it can make you do some crazy things. Apparently, this reconciliation was brokered by a family member. I heard somebody say the mother, not very sure, allegedly. But what I want to say is that they have resolved the PR crisis. Have they resolved the addiction? Have they resolved the domestic abuse? Now, in going back, I really think it is really, really important that they must seek professional intervention if the drug abuse and substance abuse issues are real. They must go for mandatory counseling as a couple, not just to sweep everything under the carpet. And they need to create a safety plan. How do they plan to move forward when these kinds of violence issues arise? So it's not enough that they've just come together to sort out a PR crisis. From where I sit, the problem is still there. They haven't really solved the problem. So they really need to look at the real issues. So until we can see real evidence that the issues I've mentioned actually have been put in place, this does not look to me like a happy ending. Actually, they've just put a pause button on a time bomb. It is a ticking time bomb, because if they don't do the things that I've mentioned, it will happen again and again, and it will be such a vicious cycle. I pause my case.